This is Jamie with Bar I. In this video, we're going to discuss some of the issues around integrating with Spot On's point of sale system. We love working with Spot On. It's one of the leading point of sale systems, and our customers report they really enjoy the user experience and all the features of Spot On. It does, however, present a little bit more complexity in terms of extracting the point of sale so that we can match up what's being sold at the bar versus what's being poured in real life. So in this video, we're going to show you what those challenges are with some of the different ways the system is often set up, and then use a use case of a system that's been set up in an optimal way to show how, if it's set up correctly, it avoids the challenges in accurately accounting for sales. And this is particularly useful for someone who is thinking of using Spot On and therefore would like to know how to program it optimally, or someone that is thinking about using Bar I's inventory services but needs to think about how they might need to make some updates to their point of sale system. So here I am logged in to a client account on the Spot On platform. So of course it's cloud-based software. I can access this from any device. If I click on sales on the main, I've got a lot of different options here. I can run a regular product mix. I can run a modifiers report. I can run a product mix with modifiers. So lots of different options of what I can run. Let's run through the challenges and then take a look. So one of the problems or challenges with point of sale usage is, in the simple case, you have something here like a Jameson button, and most commonly we'll write a recipe for 1.5 ounces, meaning the customer is served 1.5 ounces every time it's pressed. So in this case, they've sold 7 of these drinks. So obviously 7 times 1.5 would be 10.5 ounces of Jameson sold through here, and then we match that up to how much was poured. The problem is that normally, particularly in the liquor category, the sales are more complicated than that. You'll have different sizes of drinks: shots, doubles, rocks pours, signature cocktails. Often are examples of drinks that may have different sizes. And so we obviously can't just write everything to 1.5. We need to make this exact per the protocol behind the bar. So the solution to that is, rather than running the straight product mix, we run this product mix with modifiers. But that creates a new problem of having too much detail. So we see here highlighted in yellow, in the case of their Well Vodka Mr. Boston, they rang up 2 servings, and so we can write the recipe for 1.5 times 2. However, some of them require a different recipe. So in this case, they've used a modifier, and it's served, in this case, as a double with pineapple juice. So obviously we need to add an additional 1.5 ounces here. The problem here is you'll see that we care about the fact that they have served a double. I do not care that they chose on this occasion to serve it with pineapple juice. And then the problem is, during this sales cycle, if they also served a double with soda, a double with Coke, a double with ginger ale, we'll have separate lines for every single variation of double. And so at busy bars that obviously use different combinations and have drinks made lots of different ways, we've seen occasions where there's 15 different varieties of a double. And so it creates extra work to have to write the recipes, and then when you're interpreting your results and trying to understand what the total sales was, rather than looking at one modifier for a double, you're looking at 15 different lines. And then additionally, you've got meaningless modifiers, meaningless insofar as they don't affect what was served. So in this case, you serve it with club soda, that obviously doesn't affect the amount that's served. So we have to ignore that, write many more recipes here, and it just complicates things compared to having one individual button for each size of drink. So like ideally we'd have a Mr. Boston Vodka button, Mr. Vodka or Mr. Boston Vodka double, and then Mr. Boston Vodka neat, for instance, or rocks if they do different size pours. So the approach here to solve this issue is to run a modifiers report in addition to a regular P-mix. That then creates a new issue. So here I am, this is their modifiers report. And the problem here is it doesn't tie the variety of the modification to the original modification. So what I mean by this is, on this line, we know that they sold 6 drinks were sold as a double. And so the 6 occasions we have to account for an extra 1.5 ounces. And as we can see here on the lines below, 5 of those occasions were Captain Morgan. So we should do an extra 1.5 ounces of Captain Morgan 5 times, and 1 example where they served a double of Mr. Boston. However, as you see, we can see what was chosen, what was selected, but not the use case, as in this was being served as a double. And the problem here is in other cases where we've got modifiers like Tito's is served as a bloody. In this case, we've already accounted for the Tito's through the button press, and therefore we don't want to add 1.5 ounces. So the point is that if it's served as a bloody, the serving it as a bloody just means we've served it with tomato juice rather than something different. And so that's something we don't need to write a recipe for. But if they had served one of these doubles as Tito's, Tito's would show here. And so we need to know, in this occasion, these lines, it's as a double. And on this occasion, it's meaningless because it's served as a Bloody Mary. And so what we would like Spot On to do is simply, on the modifier lines, instead of having an aggregated and then an individual line, if they would simply tie what modifier was used and then the specific variety selected, we then could know, okay, 5 occasions where we need to add 1.5 ounces because we added a double here, and 1 occasion with Mr. Boston. So, due to the problems with the first P-mix with modifiers having too much detail, and then the modifiers report here not tying the modifiers to the selection made, I'm going to show you here how this can be fixed. And the idea here is, rather than ringing different size drinks or modifying different size drinks, we actually create buttons for each different size. So, for instance, if your bar has typically a single pour and a double pour, rather than just ringing up well gin and then modifying it to doubles on the occasion it's served as a double, you create 2 buttons, one for the single, one for the double. Very simply, we can write a recipe for 1.5 ounces here and 3 ounces here. Just to mention, the amounts we use are obviously custom to your bar, so Vegas casinos will do 1 ounce per single. Some corporate bars often do 1.25 ounces. Most common is 1.5, and some high-end private members club, etc., will do 2 ounce pours, and that would all be custom to your bar. But here, this in a nutshell, this is how we need your Spot On system to be programmed if you wish to have the most accurate and detailed performance information for your bar. Also, quick note that we can deal with these other formats, but it creates grey area because all the alcohol served as doubles has to be accounted for just as extra 1.5 ounces, and we're unable to tie it to the specific product. Apologies for the long-winded video here, but obviously this is a little bit technical, and hopefully if you are about to program Spot On, or if you're considering using Bar I and you're already a Spot On customer, this provides some important details so you can understand what the best practices are and what Bar I's requirements are for reporting. As always, thank you for watching. If you're interested in learning more, please go on the Bar I website, schedule a demo, and we'll be happy to discuss your unique situation. Thank you so much.